Hello, welcome to virtual case number 45 for SouthWest Airlines. My name is Vanessa Holzer, and I was the leader of this discussion. And the participants were Weston Smith, Jay Carroll, Nisa Curtis, and Walter Goddard. The theme was organizational culture and leadership, and the purpose was to explore the relationship between these two factors and then the impacts that this can cause on performance and employee morale. The 4 points we looked at were the problems that Southwest experienced in the early 2000s, the root cause of the problems and the cultural changes that impacted the organization. Then we discussed the relationship between leadership and culture and future challenges for Southwest. The first question of discussion that we had was, over 30 years of profitability and culture that was enviable, what types of problems were experienced by Southwest in the early 2000s? At this time, the CEO was James Parker. The company experienced problems with labor relations. There were flight attendants union negotiations that were at a stalemate and had to be resolved by bringing in Keller, the previous CEO, back in 2004 to reach agreements. There were also problems with customer relationships. There were no assigned seating. People referred to the process as cattle herding, trying to get on the aircraft. After the 9/11, customers had to wait in lines, and there was lots of frustrations in this area. Also, Southwest experienced low profits. The second quarter of 2004, profits fell 54% below expectations. And then the external factors: increased labor costs, rising fuel prices, and also increased competition from new competitors such as JetBlue. The second area that we looked at was, were these problems experienced by Southwest? Were they attributable to Keller's retirement? And also, why did the problems occur, and to what extent was this due from a change in culture? So Southwest, they built a culture around their leader and their co-founder, CEO Keller. And when he left, there was a cultural void. We can use analogies at Apple, Steve Jobs, and Bill Gates at Microsoft. These are very strong leaders. And that employees are willing to go the extra mile for and are really a significant part of the corporate culture. This was the same in Southwest case as well. And we also had the personalities between Parker and Keller that were different. Parker was known to be kind of slightly distant, and Keller was easygoing and very fun-loving. And this made it very difficult for employees to respond to the new leadership. There also were external issues such as labor costs and rising fuel pressures and a lot of competition, as we previously mentioned, and these were not unique to Southwest. But as you know, leaders, they set a strategic direction for the organization, and they also set a tone of the culture. So when Parker came into office, these were some of the challenges that were facing him. And thirdly, we also looked at, some of the reasons why Parker wasn't acceptable to Southwest employees, even despite the fact that he had a lot of success keeping the airlines profitable during a lot of the years that were really tough for the airline industries. There were a lot of bankruptcies, and it was really very challenging times. And we asked everybody if they thought this was because Keller was too deeply ingrained in Southwest culture, and also to take a look at the relationships between leadership and culture. So I think everybody agreed that Keller was too deeply ingrained in Southwest culture, and he really represented the culture. People thought of him as synonymous with Southwest, and to many extent, they still do. It's very difficult for employees to break from the past, embrace future challenges, and regardless of the manager's culture within departments, a CEO's culture, it wins out. And this was some of the difficulties Southwest had. They also didn't prepare the employees for the change in management. And employees, they need to have an example of leadership that they can connect to. So lastly, we take a look at the future of Southwest in light of increasing competition and the growth of the low-cost airlines industries, and also if we think that Kelly will be able to restore the culture at Southwest. I think that we agree that he can. Southwest is one of the most successful low-cost leaders despite competition. The corporation cannot continue to lead in the same manner as it did in the past with Keller. It's really proven itself as a low-cost airlines. Southwest has a very strong financial position. And if it continues to work hard to stabilize the labor costs, we think that Southwest has a very good outlook for the future. Also, Kelly, he's the second replacement after Keller, so he should be able to restore back to an employee-oriented culture and to grow the fleet and the route selection. Just wanted to say that I really appreciated this opportunity to be able to lead this discussion, and I wish everybody good luck in the future. Okay, this is just a test, only a test.
Hello, welcome
Thank
to
you. Virtual case number 45 for SouthWest Airlines, Vanessa Holzer from cohort 9.